When I declared that I was resigning, Emily looked at me with a mocking sneer. I didn't flinch, instead holding her gaze with calm determination. Our conversation had revolved around the company's decision to slash labor expenses, especially targeting those accused of abusing overtime. Tom, in particular, seemed delighted by the idea of cutting costs. A week later, the company's number flashed across my phone screen again, and again until I finally picked up. The president's sharp voice came through immediately demanding, "Who are you?" The absurdity of the question made me laugh under my breath. "I'm Lily Johnson," I replied. "A 59-year-old who has given 37 years of her life to this company." I reminded him of my role overseeing 45 clients, managing both administrative and tax matters, carrying responsibilities far beyond what one part-time assistant could help me with. The load had become crushing, yet I refused to display weakness. My clients had been with me for years, and their trust in me kept me moving forward. Still, the harassment I faced from Tom and Emily echoed in my mind as I worked. Tom, who had become head of the tax division only 3 months prior, and 7 years younger than me, was once respectful, but since his promotion he had grown patronizing and combative. Any effort I made to reason with him was dismissed with a cold, "Check the manual," followed by warnings not to take unnecessary actions. Emily, his assistant, joined in eagerly, mocking my efficiency, ridiculing my position, and seemingly enjoying her cruelty. She had turned down a department head promotion herself, something neither she nor Tom wanted known. Despite their constant jabs, I pushed forward with my work. But Tom accused me of exaggerating my overtime, and Emily echoed him with dramatic sighs, saying I was dragging the department down. In truth, my extra hours were only because Tom had dumped an entire month's worth of client files on my desk, all due by the end of that month. As I stared at the towering stack, my chest tightened. "These all have deadlines this month, don't they?" I whispered to myself. Before I could even start, Tom was already packing up, tossing me a casual, "I'm leaving, take care," before walking out. Emily followed, her laughter echoing down the hall, leaving me alone with the impossible workload. As I opened the files, I realized that some of them weren't even mine, they were Emily's. Suddenly, Tom's motives became clear. He wanted me gone. My years of expertise and strong client relationships made me a threat to him, someone he could never match. Emily, meanwhile, had chosen to ally herself with him, knowing he favored younger women. Their scheme became obvious, but I had little choice except to keep working, even if that meant unpaid overtime. Then came the summons to the president's office. The company had recently changed leadership, the founder had fallen ill, and his inexperienced son had taken over. Inside, Tom and Emily were already waiting, their smirks unmistakable. The president wasted no time. "Lily, I need you to resign by the end of the month." My mind reeled, and I demanded an explanation. They had accused me of inflating overtime. While most staff logged about 15 hours, I had exceeded 80. The president seemed swayed by their claims of having zero overtime, oblivious to the fact that my hours were spent cleaning up their work. I calmly told him the truth. I wasn't overbilling. I was struggling to fit a mountain of tasks into standard hours. He sighed, saying there was no evidence to confirm either side, but added that the company couldn't retain someone who worked at such a slow pace. My heart sank, but I agreed to resign by month's end. Tom and Emily smirked in triumph as I left. Emily couldn't resist a sarcastic, "Thanks for quitting." I stared her down silently, and Tom beamed at the thought of trimming labor costs while painting me as an abuser of overtime. I began the painful process of transitioning my clients, sending letters in place of face-to-face meetings with the president. I made sure every client knew who would handle their accounts after me. With social insurance paperwork done, I thought the chapter was closed. But then, a week later, the phone rang again. The company's number. I hesitated, but after relentless calls from the office, Tom, and Emily, I finally answered. The president's voice was urgent. "Who are you?" This time I scoffed, replying, "Just an unemployed woman who left your company, nothing more." He panicked. "Since you resigned, 49 clients have called to cancel transactions. Please, I'm begging you to come back." Reluctantly, I returned. Tom and Emily greeted me with ashen faces, hollow eyes, and voices dripping with accusation. "What did you do?" Tom demanded, his frustration barely contained. Emily echoed him, convinced I had sabotaged them. But I hadn't said a word to clients. They had simply chosen to leave. Tom, still unconvinced, dragged me to the president's office. Inside, with Tom and Emily at his side, the president confronted me about the mass cancellations. I steadied myself and answered, "Our clients don't need us to file their taxes. They stayed because of the service I gave them personally. I created tailored strategies for them, something they trusted. They don't want a one-size-fits-all approach from a manual." Tom sneered that my methods were inefficient, but I held firm. Then the president revealed something none of us expected. He had spoken to his father, the former president, who told him that clients had gone directly to him to defend me. My efforts, my client relationships, even my guidance to coworkers had made the department thrive. If I hadn't declined a promotion years ago, I'd have outranked Tom by far. The new president admitted it was a mistake to force me out, and asked if I'd consider rescinding my resignation. Tom and Emily erupted, questioning why I was favored. Emily praised Tom's leadership, while Tom fumed. The president cut them off, revealing that complaints had poured in since my departure, accusing the two of offloading their work onto others. Tom, who had accused me of stealing overtime, had been the real thief. The final blow came when the president revealed evidence of their hidden affair. Expense reports from dinners claimed as business, trips disguised as work. Tom stammered that it was mentorship, but the proof was undeniable. The president, his voice cold, terminated them both on the spot. They begged for mercy. Tom cried that he had a family. Emily promised to apologize to me and everyone else. I gave them no sympathy. "Stop resisting. It's undignified," I told them firmly. Tom spat back that I couldn't understand because I was single, but I only sighed. "You were the one who got me fired. This is just karma." In the days that followed, more details came to light. Tom and Emily had faked business trips, bullied employees into resigning, and padded expenses. Other former staff, now thriving elsewhere, confirmed it all. The president slashed their final salaries and began investigating further. Tom's marriage collapsed under the weight of scandal, and both he and Emily ended up working construction day jobs to survive. Emily eventually called me in tears, begging for help. "I only wanted a better life. I never even liked Tom," she sobbed. I told her firmly, "You can't undo what's been done. These are the consequences of your choices." As for me, I stepped away from corporate life entirely. I began helping a friend at his tax office, enjoying the slower pace and freedom. In time, I considered opening my own practice, free from corporate politics, where I could treat clients as equals. That was the true beginning of my second life, one I was ready to embrace wholeheartedly.